Buchanan's Portland Eastern victory confirming official counts. The People's National Party's PNP Asset Buchanan has been declared the winner of Portland Eastern constituency in the September 3rd general election following the official count. Reporters understand that at the end of the counting of ballots, Buchanan tallied 8,361 votes after picking up an additional 45, while his challenger, the Jamaica Labour Party JLP, Anne-Marie Valls tallied 8,176 after losing 5 votes. The preliminary count had put Buchanan as the winner with a margin of over 100 votes over Valls. Taxi operator killed in Salt Spring crash. A taxi operator succumbed to injuries he sustained in a motor vehicle crash on Friday night. According to reports, 45-year-old Dwayne Eccleston died after the Toyota Vaxi he was driving collided with a Nissan Serena along the Salt Spring Main Road. The incident happened just after 11 p.m., with both vehicles slamming together as they were traveling in opposite directions at the time of the crash. The police and firefighters were called in and Eccleston was later pronounced dead at hospital. The deceased, who resided in Pleasant View, Salt Spring, suffered a number of injuries, which contributed to his demise. 2 men traveling in the Nissan suffered injuries and were transported to hospital by an ambulance from the Jamaica Fire Brigade. The extent of their injuries are not certain. PNP concerned over reports of vote buying and voter suppression in general election. The People's National Party PNP has voiced concern over reports of vote buying, voter suppression, significant delays at polling stations, and the refusal to allow individuals in line by 5 p.m. to cast their ballots during Wednesday's general election. In a statement issued on Saturday, the party said these actions undermine every Jamaican's fundamental right to freely choose their representatives without fear or inducement. While we respect the will of the people, we cannot ignore the corrosive effect of these illegal and immoral actions on public trust to the electoral process. The PNP reaffirms its commitment to fair and transparent elections and will call on the Electoral Commission, law enforcement and civil society to take decisive steps to confront and eradicate these practices, this statement read. The PNP emphasized that it will use every platform available to promote critical reforms to the country's electoral laws to address these practices. Our democracy is too precious to be sold or stolen. The PNP will continue to stand firm in defense of the Jamaican people's right to vote freely and without intimidation or coercion, it continued. The PNP also extended its gratitude to its supporters, stating, "We thank everyone who waited in lines, who drove miles, who boarded flights and volunteered their services. Your support has not gone unnoticed and is greatly appreciated." The party said it will hold a press conference when all election data have been compiled and fully reviewed. JLP slams political mischief amid PNP election concerns. Jamaica Labour Party JLP spokesperson Camila Johnson-Smith has hit out at a recent statement from the People's National Party, which expressed concerns over reports of vote buying, voter suppression, significant delays at polling stations, and other discrepancies during Wednesday's general election. In a statement Saturday afternoon, Johnson-Smith described the PNP statement as highly disappointing and a confirmation that Mark Golden-led party has not learned the lesson taught to them by the people of Jamaica on Thursday, that arrogance, manufactured narratives, propaganda, lies, and political mischief will not find favor with most Jamaicans. Earlier Saturday, the PNP cited irregularities during Wednesday's general election, including claims that individuals in line by 5 p.m. were not allowed to cast their ballots, said such actions undermine every Jamaican's fundamental right to choose their representatives without fear or inducement. But Johnson-Smith pointed to preliminary reports of both the Caribbean Communities CARICOM and the Organization of American States OAS Electoral Observation Mission, which praised Jamaica's electoral process. Jamaica's electoral processes and tradition of peaceful transition of power continue to be models for developed and developing countries alike and should therefore remain a source of pride, even as we know that there is always room for improvement, and that we should always remain vigilant about activities which could put our democracy at risk, she stated. The spokesperson further noted that the JLP is also in the process of looking into feedback from its candidates regarding allegations of improper conduct by the PNP. Johnson Smith also reminded the PNP that they should not only love their country when in government or pretend to love it when vying for the people's vote, as we are pro-Jamaicans, such that everyone who chooses Jamaica will always see through such conduct. Victory is for Don, says Fitzhenley, as he praised late former Senate colleague. Chairman of the Jamaica Labour Party JLP Communication Task Force, Awaka Fitzhenley, has said the contribution of former Senator, the late Don Wehby, in the preliminary phase, helping to guide the tone of the party's successful campaign for re-election. Fitzhenley, speaking on behalf of members of the governing party, National Campaign Committee also dedicated Wednesday's general election victory over the Mark Gordon-led People's National Party to Wehby, who died recently after battling illness. I recall when I assumed operational lead for the communications task force last year, Don, who was a good friend and mentor, had a conversation where he advised that the campaign for re-election should dispel false narratives, but really should primarily promote the track record of work of the Andrew Holness-led administration and also renew a commitment to executive additional policies for the people of Jamaica, said Fitzhenley at a media conference of the JLP Belmont Road headquarters on Thursday. The JLP Communication Task Force chairman praised Don, who he served alongside in the Senate for 2 years during the last administration. Unfortunately, he is no longer here with us, but Don was particular about the Jamaica Labour Party not allowing Jamaica to be reversed into the hands of people who contributed to an abnormal era in terms of high interest rates and the general mismanagement of the Jamaican economy, and era which crippled thousands of businesses and destroyed many lives, Fitzhenley shared. Fitz said he is in no doubt that Don would be pleased by the outcome of the election. He was a fair and respectful private sector and political practitioner who always wished his country well. I promise him we'll pull off this victory for him, and under the leadership of Dr. Holness and General Secretary Dr. Harris Strang, along with campaign chairman Dr. Christopher Tufton, we have. I am sure my colleagues will join me in part, dedicating this general election triumph to Don, who was a great servant of our party and a true Jamaican patriarch, Fitzhenley concluded. Don, who was Jamaica's foremost business leaders, he passed away at the Tony Thwaites Wing at the University Hospital of the West Indies on Saturday, July 26, at age 62. Don passing led to an outpouring of tributes across society, including from Prime Minister Holness, Opposition Leader Mark Gordon, and several of his former private sector colleagues. He was a former long-standing Chief Executive Officer of the Grace Kennedy Group. To subscribe, like, share, and click the notification bell for daily updates.